Hi everyone, I'm Rochelle here and today I'm with Dylan.
Hi everyone.
So today we are going to talk about layouts. How does your layout actually affect your pricing?
So I think the most important thing that people are asking is that which are the units to buy, what are the right type of units to buy. But we actually did a very thorough analysis and we realized that units have different layouts and these layouts will actually affect your profits going forward also. Why? Because given a situation whereby you are side by side or even in the same district, there are always different developments and different developers actually build very different layouts. So why we want to go into this today is because we want all the viewers to actually understand how do you define what is a good layout and how do you exit with a certain layout going forward. Without further ado, let's see what we're going to talk about today.
So today we are going to share more about 3-bedder layout comparison, 2-bedder layout comparison, and what actually happens when a layout is bad.
So why we want to use a 3-bedder and 2-bedder layout?
Because 3-bedders and 2-bedders are actually the most amount of supply that you have in the market, and many buyers are actually looking at 2-bedder and 3-bedder, and from there you can actually see what are the ones that really make sense for the buyers.
So it really depends because from our analysis, some people when they look at 3-bed, some people look at 2-bed, it matters in terms of their exit going forward. So I think the most important thing we want to see is that because some people will tell us and say that, but y'all never use the other layouts and what. I think the more important thing we want to find out is that in the market, generally, most people will look at 2 or 3, right? These are the main bulk of the demand that comes in the whole resale market. And of course, the most important thing we want to really understand is this part here, is that what if today you're buying in a layout that is not so ideal? I think that is the biggest thing that most of us will want to be very careful about. So let's go on. This is our first example that we are using, the Crest and Principal Garden. Maybe Rochelle, you want to share a bit more about these two projects?
So the Crest and Principal Garden, what's common about them is they are located in Queenstown area and they are actually both developments are side by side, and they are 600 meters away from Red Hill MRT. What's interesting about these two is that although they are side by side, the amount that they make, the profits that they make is significantly very different. So now we'll go through in detail.
So let's look at the Crest. If you can see from this analysis that we pull out, right, the main thing that we want to focus on is the size. This 3-bedroom is 1216. Later when you see Principal Garden, it will be of a similar size, and you can see that the Crest made 247,000 over here. 247,000. So honestly, in a resale market, actually it's making 247,000 good amount.
It's pretty good amount.
Actually, it's not too bad, not too bad, right, for a 3-bedroom. But let's see Principal Garden. If we look at the Principal Garden, the size is 1238, which is just maybe 20 square feet difference. But their profits is about 3 times,
730,
which is about 3 times. So the question is, why is there such a big gap in profits? Why do you think there's such a big gap in profits given that it's just side by side? So what we came to realize is that when we did a deep research, we realized that the layouts are very different in these two developments. First thing first, we can see the left one is the Crest, the right one is Principal Garden, correct? Sizes wise are pretty much the same. But you can see very clearly on the Crest, we have a lot of wasted space. We have a lot of wasted space. First thing we can see is over at this portion here. This one is part of the room. So I just want to ask you, Rochelle, over here, what do you think we can do with this? If today you buy a house, what are you going to do with this space?
It's very awkward to put even a table here. Where are you going to find like a triangular table?
I think there's one thing is the triangle. Second one is also because the area there that we are looking into, this part over here, this is actually what? Actually, this is a window. It's a window and a balcony. So there's no way you can actually seal up this whole area. The most you can do is what? Just a
shelf? But the shelf doesn't even cover entirely.
Or a bay window, maybe a bay window. Bay window. Second thing that we look at is actually the kitchen area. If you see the difference between the Crest kitchen versus the Principal Garden kitchen, you can see it's quite obvious it's a very big difference in terms of the size. And when it comes to 3-bedroom in the market, most of the buyers, they'll come for own stay, correct? I believe they are always looking for something of a more sizable kitchen so that they can do their daily cooking and all. And one of the most important part that we want to highlight is in Principal Garden, if you see their living area, this is actually what we call as a landscape layout. You know that 3-bedrooms in the market, actually landscape layout is very rare. Actually, it's really very rare. To find a landscape layout 3-bedroom, you can say not many developments will have one. But today, Principal Garden have this layout that they can offer. So these are the points that we want to bring across in terms of just these two different layouts. Why we want to show you this is because when it comes to own stay, most of the buyers will be looking at layout. Number one. Number two, when you are side by side, as a buyer, will you go and see?
As a buyer, of course, you will search within the vicinity. You see, the Crest and Principal Garden, around the same size, pricing-wise also the same. Of course, you will take a look at both. And it really depends if you're a buyer, which kind of layout is more efficient for you.
Generally, the people's thought in the market would definitely be, will this layout suit my lifestyle? Or will this layout be comfortable for me to stay in the long term? Furthermore, I think what is the most important thing that is in this location is that because it's just side by side, right?
Yeah.
So people will naturally compare. So if today you go into a location and then there is maybe only one condo, for example, there's only one condo there, maybe the buyer still will just go with it because they want to buy the location. But today, if you are going into a condo that, or in a location that has so many condos, you must be very careful the right type of layout to go into, because it will definitely affect your profits or your sales going forward.
So another comparison for you guys, Sky Habitat and Jadescape. Slightly different from the previous example is that they are not exactly side by side.
But they're in the same location.
Yeah, same location, just slightly 2 km apart. And we also saw similarities in the profits as well. And now we'll go through two-bedder. So for two-bedder wise, if you can see here, for 893 square feet, they actually profited 100k lah. So 100k in this location.
And then honestly, for 2-bedroom, 100,000 is really still not too bad. It's really still not too bad. Of course, there are good ones that can make 300,000-400,000. But for a 2-bedroom, your quantum when you enter is also much lower.
Yeah.
You have 100 over 1,000. It's still pretty not too bad. Not too bad. Okay.
So now we have Jadescape, also slightly smaller, 775.
Just a bit small.
Just a bit smaller. But you see the profit here.
Also 3 times.
It's also 3 times difference. Can you see the pattern that we are looking here? So for Jadescape, 2-bedder, 775 square feet. As you can see here, profit is 400k.
Wow.
Comparing with Sky Habitat just now, 100 plus k difference.
That's about 3 times or so.
And why is that so?
So we look at the two layouts again. For Sky Habitat 893 square feet versus Jadescape 775 square feet. The obvious difference in these two layouts definitely is at this area here. If we look at the comparison between these two, Sky Habitat versus Jadescape, you can see that Jadescape's balcony is a lot smaller. That means to say, for Sky Habitat to have this balcony actually is just eating into your livable area. So you can see, first thing first, over here, the walkway is also much longer. This walkway actually is quite wasted in terms of the space.
Yeah.
It's not really very efficient. But you can look at Jadescape over here. It has an enclosed kitchen and it has a shorter walkway. Whereas Sky Habitat has an open kitchen. In resale market, most of the people, they will prefer enclosed kitchen. Especially nowadays, people all prefer to cook so that they don't have to let the smell and all travel into the house. What they like is over here, this kind of enclosed kitchen. But the biggest thing of this layout, I feel, is really the balcony area that is eating into the size of the unit itself. So when you go into a resale market, even for a 2-bedroom, buyers are very sensitive, especially when the numbers are a bit smaller in terms of the sizes.
You can really feel the difference when you step into the unit and then you see this balcony space is eating up
Or your whole size.
and then the livable space wise
Compromise really.
it's very
tight.
It's very tight, especially if you have like 3 people in the house or so, then you have to it's a bit more squeezy. But comparing with Jadescape wise, although it's slightly smaller, you don't get such a huge balcony, and the kitchen wise, everything is really efficient.
Yeah.
So you naturally won't feel that constrained space.
Another big point that we want to highlight is actually the bedroom 2. If you look at the bedroom 2 between Sky Habitat and Jadescape, it's very clear this bedroom can only go in a single bed. You can see if I put a bed here, this is only a single bed, whereas this can nicely fit in a queen size bed. And when it comes to 2 bedrooms, people that go in, they might even consider, if my kid grow up, how?
Yeah.
I need a bigger space, how? Or if maybe I'm a couple that I am buying just for now, what if next time I need a space for people like my parents to come and stay for a few days? All these are in the buyer's thoughts that they will think when they buy a certain unit. So all these small factors like the bedroom, the walkway, the big balcony, all this adds up to whether or not your unit is able to sell. We realize the profits always come from one thing, whether there is a strong demand for a certain type of layout, am I right?
Yes.
Because when your demand is strong, then people is willing to pay more. When your demand is not so strong, of course people may pay lesser. Or rather, most of the time when they have a certain budget, then of course they will just choose something that is not what they really like, but is in the location still. Now it's time again for our advertisement. So this is our WhatsApp code. You can scan to ask us any question. If by now you are thinking your current place or the place that you're looking at has some layouts that you are unfamiliar, or you want to make sure that those are better for you to enter, you can scan, drop us a text. We will help you to analyze, see whether this layout is worth to consider or not in the market today.
Okay? The scan.
Scan. The most important part of our today's video will be
what happens if you actually select the wrong layout. You see all the profits going on and all. That's really very important.
We only shared the good stuff just now, but there's always another side of the story.
So what happens if you really select the wrong layout? Let's show you a few examples. So an example that we have here is Chorus at Keppel Bay. So to give you guys a rough idea, this is actually located at Harbourfront area, the south side of Singapore, which is quite a good location that people actually look at.
Yeah, near to Harbourfront, near to Vivo City. These are some things that always people want to consider in terms of distance to MRT and all.
So Chorus at Keppel Bay, we are looking at this two-bedder. If you see here, we actually have this layout and they actually make a loss of 200 to 300,000, close to 400,000.
Almost close to 400,000 already for this first unit.
So actually, what's the problem here?
So for example, if we look at just this layout, the first thing we can see over here has already quite a wasted amount of space. And the second one, if you see over here, this is an open kitchen right beside the dining and the living room, which you cannot even enclose, or rather very hard to enclose because the balcony is here. So if we see, right, this size is 1055 and 969. So why is it 1055? Because it's on the top floor. They have another additional volume. But if we look at 969, with this balcony size, actually this already eats into a lot of your unit itself. But the biggest problem is definitely the master bedroom. With this, I would say, odd shape of master bedroom, it is not easy to have a proper living condition, because how are you going to build your extra stuff over here at this corner? So this whole area, I would say, is really wasted. You really cannot do anything with this part here, except maybe you can just put a small, maybe a massage chair, or maybe a TV console, a small TV console with a TV on top. But it's still really an awkward layout. But one thing we want to highlight to you in this layout is that it was bought during 2013. So 2013 in the market, if you all know, it was one of the peak prices in property real estate market. Anybody that bought during that time, most of the time is buying on a higher price. So that's the first thing, they buy at a higher price. What happened next was, there was few rounds of cooling measure. The first one was the additional buyer stamp duty. The second one was the TDSR, which is the total debt servicing ratio, that they adjusted the loan to value ratio for buyers to buy. So when you buy into this point of time, it will definitely be on a higher price. Right? When they sell today, this one when they sold in 2026, you see the losses that they made is really quite high. But that being said, if today in 2013, there is also another development that is in Pasir Ris, way out right at the end of the east, is called Dines. If you all heard about this, if you go and look at Dines, that also bought in the same time 2013 with slightly smaller size for a 2-bedroom, their profits are ranging close to about 400,000. Do you see a difference here? They bought at the same time, but one made so much, while the other one made a loss. So what we want to bring across to you all today is that it is not about when you buy. It is sometimes if you buy even at a high price, but when you want to sell and you cannot sell at the right price, it will be what's going to happen. So sometimes, yes, we maybe buy a bit on a higher price, but if we hold long enough and if the layout is good enough to attract people to buy, we can still be able to sell. But in this situation, you can see clearly, because for 2-bedroom there, the only people you can sell to now is who? Will Unstay buyer buy from you this layout? Maybe the odds are low. The odds are low. So the only person you can sell to over here is who? The investors. That they only look at rental yield. They don't really care so much about the layout or the floor level. When you have a good rental yield, then they'll come in. If your rental is not so good, then you cannot sell to these people. So the problem that we are facing over here is what? Number one, the Unstay buyers may not consider right, this layout rate. Number two, if your rental yield is not strong, the investors also will not come in. And if you need to exit, like this particular person, if you need to exit, then they have to go out at a loss, which is what we worry a lot for people that when they buy property, this is our biggest concern when it comes to buying a property, right? Because we know that there are cases that it really happens and we don't want any of our viewers or clients to go through such thing.
So all in all, what we want to share today is how to spot the most efficient layouts in the market and how does efficient layouts actually affect your profitability and your exit plan in future. Entering into a development with the wrong layout
And wrong entry price.
and wrong entry price
can really make a difference in terms of profits. Like just now what we shared with you, for example, the one that we mentioned, Chorus at Keppel versus Pasir Ris, Dines.
So does location matter?
I think maybe it does matter here and there,
Yeah.
but of course, when you have a better layout, whichever location you go to, you will be safer in terms of the exit. Of course, some people still prefer, like for example, I want to be in the CCR area, the District 9, District 10. But of course, even if you go to today a District 9 or District 10, when your layout is really not livable at all, then this will be a very major concern that buyers will look at. Because like what we mentioned just now, you already take away all the own stay buyers.
Yeah.
So people that want to stay, when they see this kind of layout, they will reconsider their options at that point of time. So all in all, what we really want to highlight to you guys is that when you are looking at a specific property, you need to know clearly how does this layout help you going forward, whether it's for own stay, whether it's for investment. Because when you sell, these are the things that people look at.
So we have come to the end of our video. If you have any questions regarding layouts that you're looking at, please feel free to contact us. We'll be able to share more about our analysis. So I'm Rochelle,
I'm Dylan.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.